12 players who rejected Man United as Payet joins Sadio Mane and Toni Kroos. Manchester United's allure has far from diminished in the transfer market despite their malice. The Red Devils can still attract the world's top players, regardless of whether they come in as part of a coherent recruitment strategy with long-term vision for glory or a stopgap to short-term gain. However, there are still dozens of star players that get away at Old Trafford. The latest to reveal he rejected United's advances is French star Dimitri Payet, who claims he preferred Marseille over Manchester in 2017 after ending a remarkable two-year stint at West Ham. "I'm not someone who lives with regrets. I made a choice, which was just as much related to football as it was to family, to come back to Marseille," Payet told RMC Sport. "There were other clubs, big clubs. There were Manchester United and others. It was a personal and family choice. I think it was the best for me and my family." Here, Mirror Football looks back on some of the other stars who have escaped United's grasp over the years. United rolled out the red carpet for Bellingham in an attempt to sign England's brightest young talent from Birmingham 2 years ago. Sir Alex Ferguson even gave the teenager a personal tour of the club's Carrington training facility. But a German project in the name of Borussia Dortmund was more enticing for Bellingham, and his development has been superb in the Bundesliga. Still only 18, the England midfielder's next move will be a monster one, and United will undoubtedly be in the hunt if and when he becomes available once again. Louis van Gaal made Mane one of his prime targets in 2015 before he moved to Liverpool. The Senegal international may have proved an unassuming signing at the time, but his development into one of the world's best on Merseyside proves just what talent United missed out on. When Mane reflects back on his career, he will be all too pleased to have chosen the special Jurgen Klopp years at Anfield over this barren spell at Old Trafford. "It is an eternal shame that we never saw Ronaldinho make the Premier League his playground. It could have been a reality had the Brazilian magician chosen to join United from Paris Saint-Germain in 2003 with boss Ferguson interested in the thrilling playmaker. But he instead decided to join Barcelona and went on to cement his legacy as one of the all-time great flair players before spells at AC Milan and Flamengo towards the end of his career. Have your say. What is Manchester United's biggest transfer regret? Comment below. Kroos falls into the bracket of elite midfielders United came so close to signing without getting a deal over the line. Moyes claimed the German maestro had all but agreed a deal to join the Red Devils and changed his mind to instead join Real Madrid after his sacking in 2014. The World Cup winner oozes quality, and his distinguished career has included 4 Champions League titles. Seldom has a player been linked to a club over such a long period without a transfer ever being completed. United were one of the clubs interested in Bale as he came through the ranks at Southampton before his move to Tottenham. Bale then chose Real Madrid in 2013 despite the reported attempts of David Moyes to bring him to Old Trafford during the Scots' brief ill-fated reign. To United has been mooted in recent years but never materialized, and the ship finally sailed after his loan return to Spurs last season. United infamously published an article on their website claiming they had agreed a fee for the Cardiff City wonder in 2008 and he looked destined for a move the club. That was until Ramsey instead chose to join Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, later claiming he felt more wanted in North London. The Welsh midfielder is currently at Scottish side Rangers, having joined on a 6-month loan from Juventus in the January transfer window. Ramsey was allowed to leave after being frozen out by Massimiliano Allegri. Few players have the choice of Manchester United, Chelsea and Manchester City, but that was the enviable predicament for Hazard in 2012. After wowing at Lille, the Flying Belgian was the hottest property in Europe and was even watched in France by United boss Ferguson. But Chelsea's most unlikely Champions League triumph tilted Hazard towards West London. As it transpired, this really was one that got away as he lit up the Premier League during his time at Stamford Bridge. United are familiar with being used as leverage in contract negotiations between stars and their elite clubs. That appeared to be the case for Sergio Ramos in 2015, despite the Spanish great's apparent desire to swap Real Madrid for Old Trafford. Ramos was strongly rumored to sensationally leave Los Blancos, but rather predictably committed his future to the club by penning a 5-year deal. An elite defender at the peak of his powers, it was the hope that killed for United supporters. Rather like Bellingham, Haaland is another that got away at a snippet of a price tag. Despite conversations with countryman and United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Haaland chose Dortmund and the Black and Yellows were able to activate RB Salzburg's incredibly cheap release clause of €22.5 million, £18.5 million. The inability to capture Haaland will go down as one of the many failings of Ed Woodward during his tenure as the club's executive vice-chairman. The first and only summer transfer window under David Moyes quickly became a tragicomedy, and Fabregas was one of the key protagonists. Moyes spoke openly about his pursuit of the World Cup winner, only for the Spaniard to stay and fight for his place at Barcelona. Ferguson's replacement instead signed Marouane Fellaini at an inflated price on deadline day, and Fabregas moved to Chelsea just a year later. That move would prove to be a storming success, with Fabregas winning the Premier League title at Stamford Bridge. There was a theme of United losing out to the Roman Abramovich riches of Chelsea before the Russian billionaire's exile from Stamford Bridge. Barcelona's versatile forward Pedro was the latest esteemed star to prefer West London over Manchester in a transfer battle in 2015. He eventually spent 5 seasons with the Blues, winning the Premier League, FA Cup and Europa League. The winger then moved on to Roma before being sold to Lazio by Jose Mourinho. United fans famously still sing "Cheer Up Alan Shearer" and what it could have been for the Premier League's all-time record goalscorer with medals galore if he had moved to Old Trafford during the club's period of dominance under Ferguson. Not that Shearer has any regrets. The Geordie couldn't resist a move from Blackburn to his boyhood club Newcastle, despite a phone call from Ferguson, who was desperate to sign him in the summer of 1996.